Alright, so I've downloaded the Dow 30. Right here I want to walk through pretty much every step. I like to rename this something like original data because you want to make sure you can always go back to this in case you mess something up. So I want to get weekly returns out of this. So what do I need to do? First of all, insert pivot table, click OK. I want to have the perm numbers in the column. I want to have the date in the rows. I want to have returns right here. I have count of the return. Maybe we should start with this. We can see which one of these we don't need. And let me actually go to the top here. Just view, freeze panes, control down. So look, this one 10,401, that doesn't have all the data points, so I don't want that one. So in my perm numbers, don't give me 10,401. Okay, so that goes away. Now let's go back and check. You see, all this sum means there are 2,769 days of returns for that particular stock. Let's go through here, and this one right here, this guy, which was 86,460, that one I want to go away. So now all of these stocks have all the data that I need. So I can change this from count to value field settings to average. Okay, see, that's really ugly, so I can go back and do the number format and do that in number. Alright, so now I should have everything. Control up, control over, and I want to copy all this stuff and work with it someplace else. So copy, come back over here, paste, let me get rid of this, delete, this is my date. I can select all of these and double click, and now I've minimized the width of all the columns. I like to make the top one look good, so bold, underline, centered. So now I know these are column headings. I like to go to view, freeze the top row, so if I can page down, I still know where I am. Do control down all the way to the bottom. I don't need this grand total. So there I go to December 31st, control up. By the way, if I do control down, it goes to the bottom of the data, control down again to the bottom of the spreadsheet, control up to the bottom of the data, control up again to the top of the data, and if I press the down arrow key, then it changes the view to look like that. So I want to hide several of these just because I don't need to look at them. I want you to be able to follow what I do easier, so I'm going to hide all of those. I still need the market, so I can go to this original data, and I want to, since this is my market, both of these are market, this is evaluated market, equally weighted returns. I want to get all of these to 2012. And this is a part that's somewhat clunky. I can't think of a better way to do it, so this is how it's going to be done. If you can think of a better way, please tell me. And then paste that right there. I want to make sure that I don't need the ticker and the return, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to call this market. I'm going to control down Yep, the dates match up. That's Microsoft, so I'm pretty sure Microsoft traded every day. I can just double check, and yeah, they actually did. So now I have everything that I need. And there it is. So what I need to do is decide one other thing here. Let me insert all of this. These are returns. So I'm going to highlight the columns, merge and center, italics and bold to make it look good. And then let me copy all of this stuff. Copy that right here. And notice it did all the columns that were hidden. I want the date. Copy right there. Paste. Now insert. Just to have a column between the two. And rather than calling all this returns, I'm going to call this my normalized prices. And I can start with $1 like we talked about doing in class, but I can also do this. I can say this is equal to $1 times 1 plus the return for that day, right? And then this is equal to that times 1 plus this return. And take this, copy that down. I need to copy both of these across all the way to the market. And let me control shift over here. Now I want to copy this one all the way across. And now to control shift back to here. If I highlight all of this, just this bottom row, double click, it fills it all in. To double check, control down. Yep, it's filled it all in. Control up. And let's hide some of these as well to make it easier to work with. So we'll hide all but 3 of them. Alright, so here are my returns. Here are my normalized prices. Let's format these once again to make it look good. Number, go over a few. Those don't need to be formatted. So what this is if this particular stock, and this is Microsoft, that's the number for Microsoft, if it started out being $1 and 1.01193 is the price on January 2nd, then it goes to 1.04 to 1.04, 1.03. So these are the prices. They're not the real prices, but it says if I had invested $1. Now I need to know what day of the week it was. I can do this. I can say equal weekday, highlight this, comma 2, and that 2 says make Monday 1 and Tuesday 2 and on like that. But if I want to actually have the day of the week to see it that way, I can do this. 1, 2, rather than copying all the way to 5, which may be faster in this case, Excel will recognize this pattern and say, oh, we want to count. You did 1, 2, I think we want to count. You can also do this. Type Monday rather than typing the other days of the week. Make the white cross go to black, drag it down, and Excel realizes you want to go through the days of the week. So what we can do here is rather than leave that as the number, we can say VLOOKUP. You're looking up that number in this table, which never changes. You're looking in column 2, and it doesn't matter if you put true or false here because all of them will be exact. And then take this, double click, and it has the actual name day of the week. Now insert pivot table, and we actually have 2 different ways we could do this, and I'll show you both. I'll show you the pivot table way, and you can determine which one you think is faster. I want to have the date down here in the row label, and I want to have the weekday as well, but I need to switch the order to have it like that. But I can come up here, I don't want Mondays, I only want Wednesdays. I talked in class about doing Tuesday to Tuesday. I meant Wednesday to Wednesday, so let's do Wednesday to Wednesday. Doesn't make a big difference. And then for these are the stocks, you need to put them in the values. And once you do that one time, you can just click all of these. And obviously, if you have a few stocks, it's easy to do this way. The more stocks you have, the more clicking you're going to have to do right here. So you can kind of determine, do you think that's the best way, or would you do something else? So I'll click all of them, and we should have about 30. And we need to include the market. Now take this. You don't want to work inside the pivot table. Take all that. Copy. Come over here. Paste special values. Now if you're working in 2010, it'll look a little bit different. Let's get rid of those top rows right there. Delete. This is the hang on just a second. I need to delete this. I need to delete this. And I need to label this. Let me do underline, bold, center. This is the date. These are dates in Julian day count. So if you do format cells, date, you'll have it. Now let's do all of these. Double click. Actually, sorry, let's format it first. Number format. Let's just go 4. And you notice the names are some of, whatever that symbol is. Let's go back to here, to sheet 4. I can get all the names like this because they should be in the proper order. And I can just paste right there. And now I have the names of the companies or stocks by perm number rather than ticker symbol. Control over. Now let's just hide a bunch of these so we can see what we're doing better. So hide, and let's insert another row here. These are our normalized prices. And I want to merge and center, italics, bold. Okay, so let me copy this over to here. And this is now going to be our weekly returns. And let me hide all of this just so we can see it a little bit better. I want the dates over here as well. I like to keep the dates in each set of data. You don't have to have it. Okay, so now weekly returns. This is the first Wednesday we have. So there's no return there. The return is going to be this divided by that minus 1. Copy this over. Copy this down. Format to make it look good. These are the weekly returns Wednesday to Wednesday for Microsoft, the weekly returns for wherever that company is, and these are the weekly returns for the market. So now let's do the same thing right here. Copy, paste. Actually, I want to copy this whole column down. I want to call this my betas. And again, you want to hide, you don't have to do this yourself, but just so we can see it on the screen better, hide all of that. So I'll make these columns small. I like to have blank columns between different sets of data just because I think it looks better. And I'm going to want to freeze the panes right here. So now I want to go down. I want to have 104 weeks of data. So I can just count it this way if you want to. That's 1, that's that plus 1. A little bit bigger. So I'm doing this so I can count the weeks of data, go down to my 104th week, down to here. Here's my 104th week. Note, that's row 107, right? That makes sense because my data started in what row? My data started in row 4. So since it started in row 4, if you go down to 107, that's where you have the 100. At this point, we've had 104 weeks of data. So type equal slope and put in the y's. The y's are the weekly return from here all the way up to there. Now let me show you how I did that. That's the weekly. That's the y's for Microsoft, and here I want to have the x, which is the beta. So you can just highlight this, press the period, and it says alright, lock it down, and you can just page down to where you want to be. And I want to be right there. Hit enter. That is the beta for Microsoft. Press F4. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. F4. And now I can drag this across. Go to 2. I'm just going to go to 2 decimals. Let's go to 3. This is the beta for Microsoft. Note, this is the beta for the market, which is a 1. And I do this as kind of a test because I know the beta for the market should be 1. It lets me see I'm looking at the right data. Now, do I want to lock all of this down? The answer is no. I want to lock the columns down, but not the rows, right? Because when I copy this across, I want the column to stay the same. When I copy this down, I want the row to be different. So there's the row being different. So this is the beta for Microsoft as of, I might eliminate this, as of February 4th, 2004. That's the beta for Microsoft using 2 years of weekly data. There it is for for February 2004, February 11th. Just going to add a couple more decimals here. See, it did change. Not much, but a little. Double click. Put that all the way down. And now we have the beta. This is for the first 104 weeks. This is week 2 through 105. Week 3 through 106. And you can see how it changes through time. Control down. We don't need this grand total portion. And there's the beta from Microsoft in 2012. My question is did that beta change? So let's do this. We can highlight all the data that we have. And to look at it, we can do a line graph. So insert line like this. And that's how the beta for Microsoft changed. I didn't want to do that. So the beta for Microsoft changed over the years from 2004 to today. If we want to make this a little bit prettier, we can do this. Highlight both of those, and now instead of a line graph, we can do scatter graph, and that's going to give me the dates on the bottom here. So we can see here is the bay for Microsoft, and we can make a judgment call. I'll get rid of this because I don't want it. And the judgment call is this: is that tending toward 1 or not? Let's look at this beta for this stock. What does it do? I'm going to do just the ugly graph here. Just a line graph just so I can see it. And that's how that beta changed. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know.